I've got another one of those emails. Time for another chat video, I guess. Right, now I was thinking before I start, I should do an introduction, but I feel such a plonker. And I just think, no, just get into the video, Louise, who cares? But then you kind of need a bit of perspective. I've been vlogging now for a couple of years and there's new subscribers who aren't necessarily going to see the earlier videos. So I'm Louise, I packed a bag, bought a one-way ticket and moved to Portugal a couple of years ago. Started vlogging because I wanted to, one, record the journey for myself, and two, for inspire other people and let other people see that there are people that move abroad by themselves when they're over 50. I was just before my 53rd birthday I came. I'm now 55. And if you think you might want to subscribe or follow the channel and you want to watch someone following their dream, executing their plan of moving abroad and starting a new life, then you're on the wrong channel. If you just want to watch someone that decided they want to start a new life and is making it up as they go along, well, you're in the right place. So I hope that introduction helped. It probably didn't, but anyway. So this email, now I've got many emails like this in the past. I actually had a run of getting a lot of them really similar. I don't know what it was about that period. And then got a couple more recently, which prompted me to do this video, because I had thought about it before when I got the run on these similar types of emails before. So it's people that want to do the same thing. They're over 50 usually, moving by themselves and wanting to come and live in Portugal. And there's questions like, you know, well, how do I meet people? What if I'm lonely? How do I decide where to settle, where to start? What about finding a job? What about the healthcare? But it's just loads and loads and loads of questions, which it's almost like the detail of the question is irrelevant because they all have one underlying factor, and that is fear. And also people have asked me, how did you do it? Like, how did you pluck up the courage? How did you finally make the decision? How, what? So really, I just wanted to, you know, sum it all up into how do you overcome the fear? So, you know, there's no how and no answer. However, there is experiences that we can share. And actually thinking about it, I'm going to talk to some friends who have done the same thing, and we'll get their take on it as well. So for me, it was quite easy, it was quite clear cut. Fear was involved, but it was a different kind of fear. So for me, because I'd already thought about it and decided I wanted to make a change, it was the fear of not doing it which made it absolutely not possible not to do it. I had to go through with it because I'd thought about it quite a lot. I decided on Portugal, and then if I'd backed down, you know, I did not want to be like 80 years old or something and think, oh yeah, back in 2021 I was thinking of moving to Portugal and I never did it. It was just too much, that there was no going back, because it was the fear of regret for me. I did not want to not do it and then regret not doing it, if that makes sense. One of the ways I did answer one of these emails was, there was quite a lot of questions. So I did just basically say, look, just close your eyes, imagine, you know, you're 70, 80, whatever age, it could even be in 5 years' time, but just imagine a time in the future, possibly whenever you didn't make the move, it's too late. Close your eyes, put yourself in that time and space, and imagine how you would feel if you didn't do it. And if you really, really sit and feel that moment, I don't see how you can not suddenly get overwhelmed with regret and think, I should have done that. And if you don't, I don't know, I'm no expert, but I'd imagine if you don't, then maybe it isn't the right thing. Maybe you're barking up the wrong tree. And also, you can always change your mind. There are flights out of Portugal as well as into Portugal. Now, I actually did it so that it would be very difficult for me to go back. I actually burnt my bridges and deliberately did it in the way that it really would have been difficult to go back, because I didn't want a plan B. Well, there could be a plan B if Portugal didn't work out, but it wouldn't be going back, it would be picking another country. So yeah, because what I didn't want was, if things got tough, if things were difficult, if I was, you know, sitting down feeling sorry for myself because things just weren't going how I want them to, or I'm not as comfortable as I want to be, I didn't want somewhere easy, familiar and comfortable to go back to. So although I say, you know, you can always go back, I did it that way. And I think as well, with it not working out and going back or going to another country, as some people have done, people kind of feel maybe they've failed in some way, and probably they don't really think that they failed. It's what they think other people are going to think. So I would say, in terms of pushing through the fear, so we've got, think about the fear of regret. That's enough to get you get a bit of a rocket up your behind, and then the other thing is, don't worry, don't mind what other people think. Let them mind their own business. And talking about what other people think, sometimes it's their fears that are being projected onto you. So I would just say, try and protect yourself from that a bit. I think in my last video I talked about being a guard, you know, of your mind, of what is going in there. And then another thing is just really maybe sitting down with a pen and paper and writing it down, or at least just thinking about what exactly is it you are afraid of, and then think about the worst case scenario. I suppose everybody's different. I suppose some people feel like they've got to have things a bit more planned and orchestrated, so you might want to think about a plan B. But yeah, I just say, you know, just maybe have a think, go through one by one the things that you think you might be afraid of, and yeah, think about what's the worst that can happen, and then what you will do if that worst thing happens. Because the thing with the fear is a good thing. You know, we all know it's there for survival. So it's not about getting rid of it. It's just about releasing some of it, so that it's when fear paralyzes you and stops you from moving forward. I mean, it really is, you know, the cliche saying, the book by the same title, feel the fear and do it anyway. You're still going to feel the fear is still there, but it's relieving some of it so that it's not paralysing you and stopping you from moving forward. And just to let you know, so I did explain that I got on a plane and came here, but once I'd came here, because I came here never ever have been to Portugal before, but I came, spent a few months here, decided I was definitely going to stay, got my residency, had to go back to the UK to sort out my affairs and drive. I had to drive back because of COVID. I couldn't get back. There was no flights. I got stuck in the UK, and I thought the only way I'm ever going to get back to Portugal is to drive. And I remember, I'll show you, I still have them, I'll show you what I had stuck on the dashboard on the front of my car, because when I packed up my car with the belongings I had left, obviously I got rid of most things, but the belongings that I had left, I packed them in my car, and when I drove off, that was it. And I was petrified. So just to show you what I had in my front of my car when I drove over here, I just since put them in these boxes. I had this one, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear, and this one, the person who says it can't be done should not interrupt the person who is doing it. And I had those literally taped to my, I think I had one taped on the door here and one literally taped on my dash. And then the other thing I got this birthday card years ago, but I have kept it, and I had that stuck somewhere as well. And yeah, I mean, that was eventful. You know, I got turned away on the from the ferry because the ferry was going to Spain, and Spain were not letting non-nationals in because of COVID. And but you know, what I'm trying to get at is the fear was still there, very much there, but it didn't stop me. You have to plough on through it, and you have to go towards your fear. So let's hear from the others.
I actually wrote a book all about fear. Do you know that?
You did?
A book. Yeah, I wrote a book. It's called Fear, Phobias and Frozen Feet.
You're kidding. Look at that.
And it's all about, I did that one, and I also wrote, I've done 2 self-help books besides my fiction ones. It was that Fear, Phobias and Frozen Feet, and then another one was Survival Tips for the Suddenly Single.
I had no idea. I knew you'd written some books, but I had no idea you had those 2 subjects.
Yeah, no, so this whole thing about, you talk about fear, and it's like, I also do things out of fear, and my fear is that I will have spent all these years on Earth wasting oxygen. And so when I die, I wanted to stand on my gravestone. She lived a full life.
Yeah.
That I have experienced everything that you can experience, excepting drugs and cigarettes. I don't want to experience that. But yeah, that I have a fear of not experiencing something. Does that
makes total sense. If you've already thought about it, and obviously these people have thought about it seriously enough to watch videos and then send emails to send an email to someone that's already done it. So you've clearly really already thought about it. So you and I are doing it, get on and do things for exactly the same reason, because it's a fear of regret. But these people are clearly, the fear is paralysing them. So is it literally just for you, I must, because the fear of regret is just too strong, and that's enough for motivation and actually enough to make you actually take the action?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like I do have like quite a fear of heights. And walking on a railway track, like a railway track bridge, where you can just see the ground far before, I can't do that without something. In fact, I can't even do it with something to hold on. And an example of that is my young daughter and I, when we were doing our drive down from Kilimanjaro down to Cape Town and then back again, and we drove through Zimbabwe and we went to the Zimbabwe Falls. I think we did the Zimbabwe Falls on the way down, on the Zambian side. And they have this little narrow suspension walk bridge that goes across this gorge with all the water just cascading down, and so you're covered in mist and whatever of the water. And I walked across this no problem because I was just looking at the back of my daughter's head, so I wasn't looking anywhere else. But when it came to come back, I'd taken like 2 steps or a few steps on the bridge, and my daughter thought it would be hilarious to rock the bridge.
Oh, God.
Well, I have never experienced fear like that in my life. And then my daughter realized that there was now a long queue of people behind, and I wasn't going anywhere. And she said, okay, Mom, I'm going to hide, I'm going to help you. We're going to get across this bridge. We're going to get across this bridge. We can do it. There's a big queue of people behind you. And man, I don't know how deep I dug to make the rest of the way across that bridge.
Thank you for that, and I cannot believe that you have written a book on fear, so I shall find that and then put the link in.
Yeah, it's called Fear, Phobias and Frozen Feet.
Nice. Basically, I just wanted to get a little bit of your input because you've done the same thing. Did you feel fearful, and if you did, what pushed you through it and made you decide to actually take action and make the move and do it?
No, I've never been fearful. I just go wherever I think I'm going.
Love it.
I just take the step. When I immigrated, I wanted to immigrate to Ireland, but I ended up in Scotland.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find a job. And at some point I got a job offered for 6 months. And I thought, the people are more or less dissimilar, they're Celtic. And I said, let's go for it. So that's what I always have done.
Yeah, you're made of tough things. You was in the Merchant Navy. So, but is there not ever any sort of like resistance or apprehension? Do you think, oh no? Do you not do it with any kind of apprehension, or it's just, no, it's fine, just go for it, it is what it is?
Most of the time I just go for it.
Yeah.
If I see people that I've never met before, I tend to just go to them sometimes if I really would like to know them better. And other times I'm just staying on my own and not bothering in meeting other people.
Yeah. Okay, and what about, did you do a lot of planning? Because I think sometimes my advice would be, I'm no expert, but what I would say is if you just think about the things what are worrying you, and then if you plan a bit, that should relieve some of the, some of the tension.
Yeah.
So are you a good planner? Does that help? Do you plan well?
I am a good planner,
yeah.
but I don't always plan.
Yeah. So what about the actual moving to Portugal? Did you do a lot of planning for that? And a lot
I
of...
more or less left kind of in a hurry.
In a hurry?
Because I was afraid that there was coming another lockdown.
Oh, okay.
I was getting messages that there was another lockdown coming on the 15th of July. So I thought, I need to get out of here.
Right.
So I booked my boat for the 14th. But unfortunately, my camper van had been stolen diesel out by drilling holes into the tank.
Wow.
And I ended up having to postpone my trip. So I ended up nearly a week later, and then there was no lockdown.
There was an added worry when we came, because you had all the COVID malarkey. So, okay. But yeah, just go for it. You know what you want, and you just go for it.
Yeah. So I did arrange everything. I had my locator form that I never asked for in Portugal. I had 2 PCR tests that I also could show to Portugal because it was a different timing. And they never asked me for it.
Just another quick question. What about friends and family and other people? Were they a bit naysay, or did they put their doubts on you, or were they just encouraging?
No, my mom was really encouraging, although she knew that she couldn't go with me this time. Because my mom has lived with me for 13 years in Scotland.
Oh.
And when we were in the Netherlands, because I was in the Merchant Navy and away for 4 to 6 months, I didn't want to have a house empty all the time. So she lived downstairs while I had the upstairs.
Oh.
No, she was adventurous. She would have followed me if she was in a different time. She would have done the same.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That was it,
You're
really.
welcome.
Thank you. I just wanted to get a little snippet from others,
Yeah.
and just let people know, just not to let fear stop them.